and speed. Okay, roll camera. Rolling. Horton has a very specific voice. It's his own voice. Yeah. And what about his writing appeals to you as an actor and apparently to many other very good actors?
Oh, at first I thought you meant his literal voice, which is very interesting too. That Southern from Mississippi that they migrated to Texas. It's that type of Texas accent. But his literary voice is very special, very unique, one of the best in America, I think. I always said it was like, when I was younger, it was like Sandpiper Prince on a Beach. Very simple, very deep, like hillbilly Chekhov or rural Chekhov. You know, something that you can't push, you can't goose it. You can't mess with it. You got to let it happen. You got to meet it halfway and let it bring you along, because you start to force it, then you're in trouble. It's true with any material, but especially his, because it's very delicate. Has its humor. It's saccharine in the best sense of the word. I mean, it's sweet in the best sense of the word. And it's just very special stuff that you can't mess with it. You got to kind of find what it's supposed to be and then go with that. But it's very special. He's terrific.
There were some interesting moments, particularly in Tender Mercies, in terms of the way it was presented. The scene in which you get the word that your daughter has died.
Right.
You turn off the radio, you go sit on the porch. There's a long, long pause there. The other scene, when you turn your back to the camera and sing On the Wings of a Dove.
Yeah.
Was that your work? Was that the director's? Was it a combination?
Well, I don't forget. I know that sitting on the porch, I don't know. The turning of my back to the window and singing was my choice. I said, film my back. I could care less if you're on my back. So in a way, that was my choice. That there was no argument from the director on it. Sometimes you have the argument, but that they were in harmony with that concept. But that mainly was my idea. The other, I don't know about going on the porch. I don't know if it was written a long pause. I just happened to take it. I don't know, but those things happen. So that's the way we did it. You know, I mean. You know, sometimes they say pick up the pace, the directors, which I sometimes don't like to hear, but evidently at that point the guy didn't, or Beresford. I mean, we were in harmony there, and it was nice. I don't recall the specifics of that scene, but the one at the window definitely, yeah. And people have commented on that, you know, on your back, which is fine. It's fine, you know. I mean, the story's told in many ways, physically and geographically.
The other. I see a connection between Tomorrow and Tender Mercies. There's a line in Tomorrow where you say, I don't know why you came to this place.
Yeah, right. When you did, yeah. And then I have a line at the end of Tender Mercies, I don't trust happiness. I never did, never will, you know. And so that was, connections. I think, you know, that Tender Mercies, the guy's a little more out of himself. That guy's like, not a retard, but like as isolated as you can get. You don't really find people like that much anymore. You know, with TV and radio, that kind of guy, you know. And in Tomorrow, they asked me about that. I said, well, I saw a guy, it reminded me, when I first saw a guy that I must have gotten that from was a guy from southern Missouri near the Arkansas border, which, you know, Mississippi, well, who cares where it's really, you know, a guy that talked like a cow, that isolated, dead-ahead thing. And some people said, why'd you talk like that? I said, well, you know, let me put it this way. Joe Don Baker, the actor, when he said he saw a clip from Tomorrow years later, said it blew his mind because there are people in Texas from the old days, from way back, not now, that used to talk that kind of very straight-on kind of primitive way, you know.